Anything else you would like to add, especially to people? There's this tendency we're into year two. We don't know how long. As you said, it's a war of attrition, which can be a long time. There must be some concerns about the momentum being lost.
So as I sit here, what I would tell everyone is how amazingly resilient this society is. There are museum openings, exhibit openings happening today. There are small businesses being run. There are children in school here. People are trying to live normal lives. You can't fly into Ukraine. I took a train in, and the train was filled with people coming home, refugees coming back, families coming back. And so what I would ask is for everyone to understand that although it is now in the second year from our perspective from this full-scale incursion, this is year 10, in essence, for Ukrainians. And yet they're resilient and defiant and fighting. And so they need our support. I also think we should look at this as somewhat of an opportunity to be part of what I think is going to be a very exciting reconstruction. I know it's hard to say that while the war is going on, but if you think about how the Ukrainians have described their vision of the reconstruction, it's a green reconstruction. It is technological leapfrogging in terms of digital government, in terms of the use of technology in the economy. Ukraine is a grain provider, a food security provider for the world, so it's restoring that. It's also about EU accession, meaning adopting the standards and the rules of the European Union as they rebuild. So this is going to be what I think is going to be an exciting opportunity. Investors need to start getting ready. This isn't going to be only yours and my taxpayer dollars going to this, although there'll be a public element of funding. I think a big part of this needs to be the private sector to bring technology and innovation. And I think that can be a very exciting platform upon which to build a government that's inviting you to bring the best of the best to bear, whether it's urban design or architecture, whether it's green steel, or whether it's developing food and food processing. It's an opportunity for something that I think is going to be one of the largest reconstruction in our lifetime. And so I think as we look at this, we need to look not only at the pain and the suffering and the horrors of war, which we need to remind ourselves constantly have no place in this century, but at the same time understand that this is a war that defines the world. It defines the world in which we're going to live. And that means whether we live with a rule of law and order society, or whether we live in a society where brute force is what dictates. So from an economic standpoint, I'm talking to Forbes, from an economic standpoint, that system of rule of law and order is what enabled us to prosper. It's that system of peace post-World War II that enabled us to grow our markets globally. And this war is a war not only about Ukraine, but it's about that system. And so it's in our interest to maintain that system so we can maintain that growth and that economic opportunity, and then see Ukraine as a part of it.
Yep.
Not just forget and put it behind us, but actually make that an integral part of that growth.
No, excellent point. And I think, Japan certainly stands as an example when you talk about the post-war period. So thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your thoughts. I think it's an important message, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you so much.